Hold on tight, 'cause you know tomorrow may not bring that same thing that you said last night. Woo! Every time I find a little peace of mind, I hold on tight, 'cause tomorrow may not bring the very same thing. No, 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 said none of the right there. You that care all, just for me. I'm so glad that you that care Lord, just for me. I'm so glad that you that care Lord, for a sinner like me.
Y'all put a tear in my eye. I mean, it's really, I'm sitting here trying not to be a hater. You know what I mean? Why can't you give me somebody like that? Why can't you know? They don't even got I don't even have no upstairs and downstairs. All they got to do is walk on the flat, Lord. Shoot, I can't get a bologna sandwich. Well, hello, Lawrence and Tanya. How you doing today?
Doing great.
Well, that's fantastic. I am so glad you decided to take this time to come on Where Were You? And you have a very interesting story that I'm sure that we're going to want to hear. So, without going all into the hellos and all that, why don't we just jump into what it is that we're talking about? And I'll just give the audience a little hint. This is a double marriage. I just put out, this is a double marriage. And I'll let them explain how this worked out.
I know Tanya over 23 years, and to me, she has always been my I don't know, psychiatrist almost. I'll be in relationships, be married to somebody, and I call her and she say, "Now, Griff, are you over there self-sabotaging again?" And I'd be like, "No." "Well, I don't know." "Well, maybe."
Yeah.
"I don't know." "Here she come. I'll call you back." And the same with her. I'd be like, "What are you doing? Are you still messing with that guy? Oh my goodness, what are you?" So it was always that type of relationship where we were always like really good friends. She come to town, I come to town.
Yeah.
This type of thing.
Back and forth a lot.
For 20 years.
Well, tell me, when you say back in town, so you all didn't live in the same city, or did you all travel together? Could you explain that a little, please?
So I lived in Denver, and Griff was always trying to find a job in Denver, but he lived in Atlanta. So I would fly out to Atlanta, or he would fly into Denver, and we would it's like we picked up always where we left off. It was nothing like inconvenienced or anything, even though he had already left his relationship, or I took a break from my relationship. And yeah, so we would just go back and forth, and we did this for 23 years. Well, 21.
Yeah.
21 years.
And then I had a wedding to go to in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Where one of my closest friends was getting married. And so I came to town and I called her up. I was like, "Hey, Tanya, can you be my plus one?" So she was like, "Sure." So the wedding was nice, and it came time for the lady to throw the bouquet, Gail. Now these women, Tanya is like 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
And the women that were in line, they had to be like
5'9",
up to 6 feet.
Yeah.
They was tall. She throws the bouquet, and all of a sudden, this little person comes out of nowhere, look like Michael Jordan with heels on, grabs the bouquet. She's coming down, people reaching for it. She hits the ground. She like gives people elbows to get off of her, and we were sitting at the table like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" They were like, "They say you in trouble." They say you in trouble. I said, "Oh, I'm not in trouble. I'm just visiting. I'm getting a plane out of here in 2 days." So 7 o'clock in the morning, she's knocking on the door. I'm staying at my uncle's house, so she's knocking on the door. Open the door, and she comes in, and she says, "I've been through all your relationships. I've been through all your marriages. I've been through all of these stuff." She said, "We're gonna go get married." And I was like, any sane person would have been like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I'm getting on a plane in 2 days."
I didn't mean to cut you off. But you did say she's like your therapist or your psychiatrist, right?
Right.
Okay, so she's healing you right now, right?
Right. So the first thing I said, I didn't even say no. I said, okay. So then we go get married.
He was quiet the whole way.
We get married, and then a couple hours later, I'm on a plane back to
Georgia.
Wait,
and I'm in Denver.
Wait. No,
it wasn't what I thought out.
Well, we can see that. So, so what happened is you were at a wedding. Tanya leaps up 5 foot over all these giants, grabbed the bouquet, and elbowing people. Now you went home. She comes to your uncle's, and it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like shotgun to me. I'm like, we gonna do this. You know, like
right.
That's what it sounds like from a brother. Okay, Tanya, don't get all upset. I'm just coming from them. But wait a minute. But then you, Griff, you turn around and say, yeah.
I said, okay.
Okay, pick it up from there, man.
And then he said, well, we don't have a magistrate. We don't have anything. And I said, oh, that's all taken care of. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I found the magistrate in Denver County, and we got married. And
and then I got on the plane
on that Monday, and then he got on the plane
and left.
I took a lunch break, got married, went back to work after I dropped him off back in Centennial.
So the thing is, I work from home, right? So I could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So I had my cousin living with me. So they was taking care of my fish and everything like that. Oh yeah, the fish story. My cousins decided to move back to Buffalo, and nobody here to take care of the fish. So we were supposed to have a ring ceremony. We were supposed to do all this stuff. And I told Tanya, I said, hey, I got to get back to Atlanta because there's nobody there to watch the fish. And she was like, the fish? Anyway, make a long story short, when she's supposed to be at work, the next day she's at work, right?
Right.
She comes back with a fully completed divorce paperwork. And she's supposed to be at work. Like, how did she have time to do that? He hands them to me and says, let me let you get back to your fish. And I was like, and I started reading through them. I was like, these are perfect. Like, no mistakes, no nothing. So then I got mad. I'm like, man, I signed them and
that was it.
That was it.
That was 2016.
That was 2016.
Okay, wait a minute. So I can keep up with this. The fish.
The fish.
The fish. Okay, so behind the fish. Now you haven't really lived together, per se. And now you're having a divorce? All 1, 2, 3?
We never ever lived together. We never really ever dated.
Right.
But the fish, I wasn't ready to go to Atlanta. My kids live in Denver. My grandkids live in Denver. But he kept saying, oh, I'm going to get a job in Denver. I'm going to transfer. I'm going to do this. And this was like 4 or 5 years. So when he said the fish, I was like, this is never going to happen. This is never going to happen because this is, he was working for a company and I think he believed that it was really going to happen. It just never did. And so when he said the fish thing, I was like, I'm done. Like, this is over.
What I'm trying to grab a hold, I guess,
is the fish.
Well, yeah, because see, it seemed like you got married, flying back and forth, and for all these years, you conducted yourselves like that. So what is it about this one time? And I guess I'm asking you, Tanya,
Yes.
what is it that really was the reason about the fish? You can buy more fish, right?
I think the problem is that it was something that was very, for him, it was meditation. But when the cousin left, and that's the only person who can take care of the fish, it's not like a regular fish tank, it's a saltwater fish tank.
Aquarium.
Oh,
So it wasn't like, and there was 4 of them at the time, right? There was 4 fish tanks.
Oh, 3.
There's like 3 or 4 fish tanks in his house. So she left. It was a disaster, basically. And I liked working where I was working at, and I wasn't leaving, but he had these 4 fish tanks in his home, and I was like, this is not gonna. It wasn't well thought out, and that's my fault. It really wasn't well thought out.
Right.
Tanya, what you're saying, you didn't compete with everything else. The fish was the last straw.
The fish was it.
That was it. I'm not dealing with no mermaids.
No, I do all the wives and girlfriends and all of that
But
kind
no
of stuff.
fish.
Fish was done. I would have fried him up if I had to.
Griff, you're saying you're sitting there reading how perfectly your divorce papers are written up.
Right. And I say, wait a minute, ain't you supposed to be at work? She did that while she was at work? I mean, wow. I was like, okay, so I got mad then and I just signed them. And then I just and left and went back. But we still was friends. And
We were. We didn't speak for like a year.
Yeah.
We didn't speak for like a year.
Yeah.
We didn't speak for a year, and then we did speak, and then we still didn't speak for another year.
Yeah. And then
until 2020.
When I went to your
my birthday.
Your thing.
Yeah, my birthday. That's what happened.
Oh, and okay. Now we got to talk about Cabo. Okay, so this is 2020. Pandemic.
September.
In the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I just randomly called her, checking on her, said, how you doing? And, I know it's your birthday coming up, and just checking on you. And then she's like, well, she had a big thing for Cabo, but since the pandemic, mostly everybody backed out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just got my passport. Can I go? And she was like, you got to talk to my mom. And then so I asked her mom. Her mom was like, okay. Yeah. Now I'm in a relationship.
Yes, he's in a relationship.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I didn't want to take off my cap, but wait a minute. Divorce? No, married, divorce behind the fish, wait a couple of years, start talking, and then I think there's a birthday in here that we kind of hopped over, but we jumped into this trip. Y'all going out the country here, and everything is just okay, because this is kind of how you used to rolling, right?
We always were like, I would talk to Griff for like a year. If he was good, I was good. And if I was good, he was good. And we didn't talk for a year. It could be a year at a time. It could be 2 years at a time. And we wouldn't talk. So he just happened to call me when it was my birthday this particular year. Because we did talk, because the last time we talked was when my father passed away.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last time. So we talked in 2017, but we didn't talk after that until 2020.
So I'm getting phone calls.
In a relationship.
They're like, are you on the trip with your ex-wife? And I was like, yeah, but it's just like family, everything's cool, nothing's going on.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay. So
they didn't believe that.
Nobody believes it. They
still to this day.
Everybody thinks to this day. Me and Tanya never stopped seeing each other, but we actually really did. But nobody believes it.
I'm not trying to throw nothing in there. But we started off, And Tanya was the one talking about the breaks. And it
Mhm.
seemed like you all had breaks. This is what's so unique about it. There was something in you all's chemistry or something that really, some kind of way, tied you all for eternity. It was like, no matter what you did, no matter who you were with, no matter what happened, some kind of way, y'all just bumped back into each other, and it was like you never left.
And I think that's true because for me in Denver, I didn't believe there was really any good guys. So even though when we first met in 2000, I already had 3 children. So I didn't think that I was up to his speed. He had no kids. He's working a good job. I'm working at the VA on 9th in Colorado. And I got these 3 kids. I just bought a house that I can't afford. My dad's saying it's a money pit. But I'm like, oh, there's good guys, but I couldn't find one in Denver. So I kind of just stayed with the devil I knew, which was my last son's father. And in the back of my mind, I guess I kept thinking, there's a good guy out there, but I could not find one. So it just didn't happen.
Oh, don't stop there, Tanya.
Well, it didn't happen, but he wasn't ready either. We were on 2 different, like, I'm not going to take my 3 kids to a man who has no kids. He has a home in Georgia and say, okay, all 4 of us are here. I didn't think that was fair. So I was like, no. So when he asked me to leave, I said no.
Plus, I ain't really like kids like that.
Yeah, he didn't. And I said no. I said, you asked me, and I said no. I said no. I'll keep in touch, but no, I'm not going to Georgia.
It is something that was binding us.
Yeah.
And we, I knew what it was the whole time. I knew that was God that was somehow not letting us get too far away from each other.
Amen.
The connections were too close. Like,
yeah,
we didn't realize, this is the part I don't think you heard, is that we were running neck and neck the whole time.
In Denver. When I lived there.
So his ex-wife used to date my ex-husband, my second ex-husband.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Y'all gonna make the announcer take a break. Wait, just wait, please.
Right.
Okay. Woo. I'm still, wait a minute. Before you take me into that,
Okay.
can we kind of finish the trip? I mean, y'all was going on the trip, yeah, and y'all done tripped me out, and we haven't even got to the trip. He was dating, some kind of way you all were dating? Is that what I was hearing?
No, we were running like side by side, like his wife, which is my stepson, his ex-wife, who's the son that lives with us. She was casually dating my ex-husband's brother. Did not know that.
Okay.
But then when he met my daughter-in-law's dad worked with him at level 3 in Broomfield.
Yeah.
And they knew each other.
So it's like all the people that we knew.
My cable guy was his friend.
Was my best friend.
Yeah. Well, I was married to somebody else. I mean, like, we were running neck and neck.
Like they say 6 degrees of separation. It was more like 2 degrees.
Yeah, we were right there.
Wow. Okay, I'm glad you cleared that up. I thought it was,
No.
It was, the daddy with the wife and all that.
No. It was like we were running in the same paths, but we never connected. We met at Casbah. So we never met through anybody else that was around us.
Yeah.
We didn't find out till 2 or 3 years ago that these people all knew each other. Yeah. We never knew that. Okay. Like my ex-husband, my second husband's friend, Prince. He came over to the house and I said, how do y'all, and he's like, hey, what's up? And I said, how do y'all know each other? So again, we were running in the same path, but we
Yeah.
just never crossed.
Yeah. When he came over here, I was like, Prince, what's up, man? We were talking, and she's like,
I was like,
wait
how
a
do you
minute.
know
I
him?
said, I know him for years. I know Prince for years in Denver.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it was something we couldn't
Yeah,
quite connect.
We
Then when I
couldn't.
moved, then that's when I met her when I was leaving.
yeah.
Okay, what happened on the trip when mom said it's okay?
Oh, it was really nice.
Yeah.
Was it?
Was like family. Like
We had a penthouse.
it was no
We
like
had 3 rooms.
yeah. She had her own room. I had my own room.
My mom had her own room. He was working on the Griffin Group business.
Yeah, I was working on my company. A lot of times I couldn't even leave because I was doing some business stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, my mom would go out and venture by herself,
Yeah.
and then he might join us for dinner or not. But other than that, they would stay up at night because I would go to bed at 9 o'clock. They would stay up and talk all night. I went to bed
yeah,
because we weren't together, and he was still conversing with the people he was involved with. So it was like, and I was good.
Your mother, though, did she know the scope of things? Because she must really something with her too, because she was willing to have this young man come with her baby. So
Yeah.
Well-
she something. Mama knew something.
Out of the other 2, she did like Griff the best, but she used to tell him, she's like, how did you think you guys were going to get married and live on 2 different coasts?
oh yeah.
I thought that was perfect for me, but
She was mad.
that was just my opinion. But because I like to be around my grandkids, but she was, after the trip, she was upset because she was like, what's going on? She's like, he's trying to talk to some girl on the airplane, and we just left. And I said, but we're not together.
Some tall girl.
Ooh,
I'm like, we're not.
y'all telling it.
Yeah.
Y'all telling it. Wait a minute. Griff, you get to the trip, and now you're on the airplane trying to hit on some girl on the plane. Did I hear that right?
7 days is a long time.
We was walking up and we were getting ready to go.
Yeah.
So me and her mom had the same flight
To Houston.
Back then I was going to Atlanta and she was driving back to where Austin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm standing there and this girl walks up to me. She had to be like 6 feet tall. And I was like, hey, how you doing? What's up? And then I started talking to her and her mom was looking like what? Why is he talking to this lady?
She was mortified.
I was like, me and Tanya.
We're not together.
So she calls Tanya and says, she's talking to some girl. And
I was like, so we're not together. Because I had a person in Colorado.
Right.
Who knew I went on the trip with my ex-husband.
With me, right. She's dating somebody.
Yeah.
I'm dating somebody. So it's just.
Well, you all have some nice folks. It'd be.
They weren't. But yes,
come on now. Y'all just took me over the moon.
We were always honest.
That was it.
Now they didn't believe him because you got your bags carried in. She beat you home. Carried your bags in.
The girl that I was seeing, as I'm pulling up at my house from the trip, she's pulling up. She's grabbing my suitcases out the out the trunk for me, and takes them in the house, and like, I'm glad you're back and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but the trip did do one thing to me. It just put her on my mind more, like, a lot more. The following year, now her phone rings, like my phone is ringing. I'm like answering it, and it looks like I'm in a woman's purse because I see a little light shimmering and shining, and somebody's walking, and I was like, how did she call me? This, according to her, she said the phone didn't have service.
It didn't have service. It's my granddaughter's phone for when we were at like the hotel, or so she could do TikTok or play on the phone. So it was only internet based. It was an iPhone, but it was only internet based. And for some reason, it called him. And I'm on a trip with somebody else.
That was God calling me.
I'm in New Orleans with somebody else.
Now she's on a trip with somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. And the grandbaby's phone get in the mix. and it calls Griff while you're out with JoJo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then, so I was like,
Yeah.
I just hung
He's
up.
like scratching.
So I said, I'm gonna call her back. I was like, it took me a while, but I called her back. And she answered. She's like, hello? And I said, yeah, you called me. I'm calling back. She said, I did not call you. I said, yes, you did call me. No, I didn't call you. I said, yes, you did call me. I said, but anyway.
5 minutes later.
I said, how you doing? You doing okay? And she said, yeah. She said, well, I'm on a vacation I said, okay, that's good. I said, he treating you right. You happy? And she said, yeah, I'm happy. I said, well, I'm happy. And then she said, well, how are you, Griff? How you doing? I said, I'm doing good. And I said, no, I'm not.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, that kind of touched me a little bit. No, I'm not. Okay, so she's doing great, and you had a little attitude like, well, I'm doing great too. But then something made you, because she's been on your mind.
Right.
And I guess you're saying, hey, let me speak up.
Yeah. Let me tell you what's
Griff, come on, let me grab some tissue.
So I told her, I was like, I'm not doing good at all.
Yeah.
I was like, I lost my job. I got laid off during the pandemic. AT&T, I've been working there for 20 years, making good money. And I said, I got laid off. I said, my stepdad, he passed away of COVID and last year. And I said, then I went up to Buffalo. I got my mom. I brought my mom here. And now my mom is sick. She has stage 4 lung cancer. So I ain't doing too good. And she was like, now my mom loves her. She was like, what? She said, I said, yeah, I'm telling you, this is what's going on. She said, I'll be there in 2 days.
That didn't work well with my company.
And the guy's right there with her. And he's like, are you really about to go check on this dude and his mama? And she turned around like, yeah. And then dude was like, okay, well, I'll see you when you get back.
I never went back.
She never went back.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about the guy in the room, the grandparents. I guess when you called back, he knew you were talking to this guy, and you heard that his mother was sick. You said you'll be there in 2 days. So you cut off everything, packed up, and went?
Yeah, so what happened was that the first time, Griff's father was actually killed at the MARTA. And I was mad at him because he didn't tell me. And me and his dad were really close.
Yeah.
So he called me about his mother because he knew I had already voiced that before, even though I had never met her. I had talked to her when we were about to get married in 16.
Yeah.
But I was actually close with his dad. And so so I think he felt that he needed to tell me because I was going to be mad again, like, okay, you didn't tell me when your dad died. Now your mother died. So the guy was standing there, and there was no future ending plans with us by all means. So it wasn't like that kind of relationship. But yeah, I said, okay, I'm going back. And my plan was I was going to go back to Denver. I didn't know what the situation was when I got here. And so for a while, she was really good. And then she started having more issues. And then I became the caregiver. And so even though I left in August, I picked up my stuff in Colorado in December of that year. But I was mainly her caregiver until she passed in March. So that was kind of what it was. So no, I did not go back. And I'm sure there's a lot of backlash from that, and I think I heard a lot of it.
She waited till after we got married.
And after your birthday.
2/22/22. 2/22/22. We got married. And then my birthday was March 24th. So, and then she passed. Once she knew that everything was okay.
She passed on March 29th.
She passed on March 29th. She was hanging in there.
She was.
She wanted until we got married.
Sorry to hear that, Griff. I know how it is losing a mother. So while she's there taking care of your mother, you obviously, whatever was stuck in your mind before, it's getting cemented in your brain now, correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not letting this go ever again.
Right.
But there was never a proposal. He's like,
wait a minute, Griff. Okay, go and tell us, Tanya. Tell us about this never no proposal.
like you should just keep to stay here. We need to just do this. That's what you said.
Really?
Yeah. Did you propose? No.
Well, how about this? Here we are on Where Were You years later. Brother Griff,
Yeah.
why don't you propose? Why don't you just get this out the way? Propose to Tanya.
You never did.
Yeah, I never did.
No, you met twice.
Okay, hold on.
Twice.
She got a
But I
nice
got my
ring
ring.
though,
Yes, I have my ring.
and her little bracelet that goes
That
with
goes
it.
with it.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to get up. He has bad knees.
I got bad knees.
You shouldn't get down.
No. Since we doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Honey, don't hurt yourself.
Oh, shit. Y'all seeing this. We got it live on Where Were You?
You know, I always loved you. You've been my best friend. You know, everything. Would you marry me?
I will.
Oh.
Oh, Shicky, y'all. Like I said, I'm off the camera, so I can get through with it.
And if I stand up, he's on his knees. We're the same height.
Right. He's 5 foot and I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
Wow.
People think this is my little daughter or something. I'd be like, this is not a kid. This is a grown woman.
So how long have you all been married now?
It'll be 2 years.
It'll be 2 years in February 2024.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is, I guess I should ask, how's things working out?
Great.
I mean, I think, well, considering we never lived together and we never really shared the same space, it was, I think with Mom, it was, we were doing too many other things to really get acclimated to each other because we were doing baby cams and medication and up all night and, you know, that kind of thing, dealing with nurses. And then when Mom passed away, we kind of slowly went into, okay, how do we adjust to each other? Because we were kind of busy. And so we've been slowly,
it's all God.
Yeah,
like,
it's
God
been
has been
slowly working.
It's like, and now we can really clearly understand. We can see where God was all the way back then.
Come on,
to where He built us up. He built us up. The more we could handle, the more He would give of Himself.
He really blessed. We were really blessed, these two, because in Atlanta, there wasn't no jobs unless you go down to the city. And I'm an accountant. So unless I drove 2 hours downtown and 2 hours back, I wasn't going to have a decent pay. So I took a lot of small, odd jobs at home to kind of keep the funds going. But I am truly blessed that we got through it because there was the money I was making was not adding up.
Like people always talk about, well, money this and money that. We just made it through. God just put us through this without no money at all. We didn't lose nothing.
We lost nothing.
We didn't lose anything.
Amen.
And then God kept holding us. And now, boom, she's got a good job back again doing her accounting stuff.
I get to see my kids for free because they're in Denver.
I've been fighting the VA.
So I work for Denver.
Right. I've been fighting the VA for 27 years, and I finally got 100%.
Oh, snap!
Yes.
And I'm still working on my company and my business. And God is just, man, it's just, it ain't no other way. It ain't no other excuse. It ain't no other reason.
Say that.
Simple as that.
No.
God does, He works miracles. And if you just hold on, you believe enough and believe in the other person, because can't nobody tell me nothing about this one. That's not her mother, that's my mother. She took care of my mom night and day and worked 3 or 4 jobs, whatever she needed to do, she did. And we were able to keep our house and everything. We just hung in there, and man, we just have a ball. Like every morning we wake up, we just laughing about something, or I'm messing with her, she messing with me.
But I mean, it
we
really
actually have fun, like we're little kids again, like almost.
But see, he was on that path already, and I wasn't. So I would wake up in the middle of the night, stressed out, having panic attacks. I'm like, I just moved here from Colorado. I'm about to lose everything all over again. I don't have nothing. What am I gonna do? And I was stressed out for like months.
And what I tell you, you'd be like, God,
You did.
I
You
said,
did.
"Just
And
hold on."
it took a little bit for me to like, because I never had somebody else to say that to me. So I didn't, even though I went to church for several years, we had different kind of church preferences that we went to. I never had somebody say that, and I never saw it actually come to fruition.
Right.
And it actually did, because
Right.
I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
I said, watch him work. Watch him. Why? I said, we right there. I could feel it. There's something inside of you could feel.
And then we get checks. I mean, like, I know this sounds like that guy in the mail, that water commercial, but we would get a check. Oh, you have a refund. I'm like, we got a refund? And then 3 months later, we get another refund. Or then something else would happen, like a job would come up, or this would come up, or it would just be in the right time frame, and everything just kind of went together. And it actually flowed into now.
Yeah.
And it's actually been good.
You know, usually when I get to this point, I always say, if you met someone in this kind of situation or something, what advice would you have? But I don't know if I should ask y'all that. Because y'all situation, it was like, from where I sit, it sounded smooth, but it seems like it could have a lot of complications. And for some reason, that I guess what you're saying is it. Once God kind of puts his hands on something, it doesn't matter what you do. You could be over here with JoJo. You could be over there with Sally Sue. If he wants this to be together, you're going to be together. And he had to go through, it seems, from where I'm sitting, a couple of moves to get you people to understand. And Griff, not saying nothing but wives and going around, and Tanya, relationship didn't really mean nothing. That's going like an empty vessel, an empty life.
Yeah.
And it just seems like your cup is running over right.
Yeah.
And that's a testimony. But I'm going to go on and say it anyway. If you had something to say with someone in this type of situation, what would you tell them?
If you really do believe in that person, because we've passed what we've already told you. We've been through a burn, medication.
Yes.
We've been through
my
migraines. We've been through a lot of stuff. And I think that I can say with him, I probably would have never gone through it with somebody else. They wouldn't have the patience. But because we're always, like I told him, beyond physical, we always have a conversation we can have between us. We always have something to talk about, even if it's joking. It doesn't have to be. If we're, I always told him that when I turn 80 years old, if it's nothing else but conversing, then we have that. And I never had that in my other relationships. I can't say that I can look at you and say, when I'm 80, I really can still be with you, because we still have a good conversation and still can talk to each other.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main part that I didn't have before.
Communication.
Yes.
Communication. And I think in the honesty, brutally honest.
Don't ask. If you don't want to know, don't ask him.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Are you sure you want to know the truth?
Yeah, probably not.
Just being good friends, and we made it through it. And God was trying to tell us something. He was telling us, he was talking to us. We wasn't listening.
No.
So we had to keep going through until we had his, we gave him our full attention.
Yeah.
And then he showed us. He said, I'm going to sit you down. You sat me down. I've been working 30 straight years of my whole life, and now I'm unemployed. I'm gonna sit you down and I'm gonna show you who this woman is.
So I'm running up and down the stairs. I'm running up, taking care of him because he has migraines, taking him to the hospital in the middle of the night, and then coming downstairs and taking care of mom. And then I'm still working
like
in
3
between.
jobs. Like, he showed me who she was, and now it's like, man, I was like, she was there the whole time. I never knew it. Looking all around, forward and backwards, but the one true person that was for me was always there.
Y'all just break up. Y'all got, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people hearing you, Griff, a lot of men, especially, that probably in a lot of ways had a lady right there God put there. They didn't listen. Their eyes or something took them off. And Tanya, I don't even know what to say, how you stuck in there, and I didn't know anything about like the migraines, the mother downstairs, the trying to work the jobs, out of work, doing temporary jobs. And out of all of that, when you all were sharing that, not one time did you all ever say, well, we were gonna break apart, we were gonna leave. She flaked one day, or he did this one day. And I know that relationships, you know, they have their ups and down moments, but it just seems like something, just in listening to your story, this just really, to me, seemed like God really joined you two together. And it seemed like y'all were being a little hard-headed, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, really, both of you. I mean, y'all, this one over here, this one over there, this one with this guy, but we gonna go over here. Whoa. And it always seemed like you all stuck together. Well, Lawrence and Tanya, I am so glad that you all came and spent this time with me on Where Were You? And I hope that we can tell another one of your stories. I'm sure you all have a bunch of them.
Oh, we have a lot.
This just the beginning.
Yeah, we probably get you in here monthly or every quarter to tell us another one of these stories, because it's truly a match made in heaven.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I thank you all very much.
Yes, thank you.
Well, another episode of Where Were You? And we would like to thank our guests for this evening. Also want to thank New Me. New Me helps sponsor Where Were You? So go on and check it out. New Me /Arkway. Also, go on and hit that like. Go on and hit subscribe. Go on and hit that share. Go on and leave a comment. And if you find anyone that has a story, let me know. And hey, you bless someone today.